Okay. I'm back on, I think. I gotta tell you, man, it's really a pain in the neck. It really is. Let's see if you're out there with me. Come on. Come on. Yeah, I gotta wake up the hamsters, everybody. Okay, I'm back on. Sorry about that. This is part 2. Oh, China, I love you, man. I really do. But I'm back on. Hopefully, everyone else will come back. Again, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. This is it only happens to me in my apartment. This never happens when I'm out and about. You know, I was at the hotel last night, and I was going to try and do the live stream from the hotel last night because I always tend to have a really great connection. It's never a problem when I do this from a hotel. But I do live in a very old building, and I do live on a college campus, and it's just one of those things. I've never had good Wi-Fi here. It's never been solid. It's never been stable. It's always been kind of a nightmare. You know, so you get used to it. It's another one of those things that I've gotten used to with living in China. You know, that we were like I said in the last one, we were talking about how when you drive down the road, I forget that I'm living here. You know, I forget that I am a guest here sometimes, and it's because it's home. It really does feel like my home right now, and yeah. So having the internet and the Great Firewall and all the internet issues that we deal with. You get used to it. It's part of life here. So if the connection goes down, it's like, yeah, of course, it'll be back up in a little while, I guess, right? Yeah, and it's funny because if you go to a place like, let's say you go to Macau or Hong Kong, and as soon as you cross that border, it's like freaking Disneyland because your phone just lights up. Everything works. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everything is very, very fast, super connected, and you forget that that's what life is like on outside of mainland China, and it's wonderful. It really is. And then when you recross the border, and all those connections go down, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. It's a very quick reminder. School connections always so. Get your own line is a great idea. It can. I live on the campus. It all goes through the same servers here, so it doesn't matter if it's here my own dedicated line, which I doubt they'll even allow me to do. So it doesn't matter. Again, it's part of life here, guys. Okay, what else? I want to answer some questions. Okay, let's see. I got an email. I've been getting emails from people with a lot of questions about life here. And I got this one. Oh, I've been getting some, and I wanted to put it out to you guys if this would be a good idea or not. Some people have been trying to get me to, do some like sponsorship videos, and I'm like, my vlogs, I really don't want to do sponsored vlogs. It's not my thing. But these live streams, I wouldn't mind them being sponsored. And there's one here that does custom jerseys, and it's like, okay. They won't pay me. It's not about money. It's but they'll send me like a custom jersey and uh-oh. Did I lose you again? All right, I'm going to keep going. Anyways, what do you guys think about that? Are you guys okay with that if I wear like custom jerseys and help these folks out? Let's see. Okay, so I got this email about degree notarization. I was one of the very first people that I know of that had to go through the process of degree notarization and getting that all done, authentication of your degrees for the Z visa. You're the only one on here. Thanks, TK. Anyways, the question is about this person's getting their master's degree. Should I just get the bachelor's degree authenticated? I said, no, get them all authenticated. Get all the degrees authenticated. Do you need your transcripts, sealed? I've got them. I had them done years ago. I've got like 5 copies of them in sealed envelopes, my official transcripts. I've never used them, but I have them just in case. And I got my degrees authenticated in 2015. and I've never had to authenticate them again. I continue to use the same authentications year after year for my residence permit, my work permit. So it's best to get them all done just to get it out of the way. It's costly, you're gonna have to invest a little bit of money into it, but it's totally worth it. Totally worth it just to be safe. Just to have it there, and that includes your criminal background check as well. That also has to be authenticated. That is a process. There are ways to expedite it depending on what country you're coming from, but go through the process now. Don't wait. Get it done. Even if you don't have a job yet, but if you're still just planning to do it, start the paperwork now, because what you don't want to happen is get a job and then start the paperwork, because it's so time consuming and you're going to stumble. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have to go back to the consulates. You're going to have to go back to your government offices and get things done properly. It's not very simple, and the rules change often. So start the process now. That's my advice on that. So the person who sent me that email, that is my answer for that. Hold on. Where'd he go? And of course, I can't load the email on my phone because that connection is down. Oh, China, I love you. Well, TCAT, I hope that you're able to get back to China soon, buddy. I know everyone's itching, especially if you have a job, you're itching to come back. So I hope you get back here soon. Hello again. Hey, John. Thanks for showing back up. I appreciate it. Hopefully the connection lasts again. So if I do save, if this one lasts a long time, I'll save it under part 1, part 2. Give me 1 second. We will see. Okay, let's do the news. I got some groovy news here. If you don't know, you have. Whoop, there I am. Hi. Rojo Reads the News is my other YouTube channel that I took about 3 weeks off from this. I had done lots of filming and lots of news, but I was so busy over the last... August killed me. August really killed me. For some reason, I was so bloody busy just doing random things, and that'll come out in my videos, in my vlog videos. You'll see what random things I've been doing. But this is Rojo Reads the News. I have been uploading some new stories here, and another one coming out tonight in about 20 minutes, and another one tomorrow. And I got about 20 other ones that coming out in the near future. This is a lot of fun for me to do. I really enjoy making these videos, and I hope you subscribe and follow me around and comment. So forgive me, shameless self-promotion real quick. My Facebook page for Rojo Reads the News, also for my vlog channel. You can support me on Patreon. I have 3 patrons. Thank you very much. I love you guys. You guys know who you are. I appreciate what you do for me, and I know many of you support other creators out there, so thank you for supporting creators. So if indeed you enjoy what I do, you can support me on Patreon, or you can buy me a coffee. I didn't bring it up. But yeah, you can buy me a coffee. I do have, the link is down below. You can buy me a cup of coffee. I've gotten a couple guys that just will flood me. Here's 5 coffees. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And to be honest with you guys, this money, when I'm working on my vlogs, editing and stuff, I'm in a coffee shop. I don't do it from home because the construction noise around me is insane. So I go to the coffee shop and I work on them. Okay, so let's see. Very good. Been working here. Business is picking up for us. Business picking up for everybody. In China especially. I've got a news story coming out in 2 days. In 2 days on Rojo Reads the News regarding one of the industries that is blowing up here in China and around the world. Okay, so 2 new routes proposed for maglev trains in China. Maglev, magnetic levitation trains. These are badass, man. They go like 600 kilometers per hour. There's one in Shanghai. I didn't get a chance to ride it. It goes from Pudong Airport to the Pudong area, and I really wanted to ride it. They're going to put 2 more. And let's see, I think it was let's see. Hot topic of discussion of the past few years in a conference on Wednesday, the Vice President of the Chinese Academy of Engineering. Wow. Can you guys hear that? That's right above me. Again, I think this is the remnants of the typhoon that's hitting Vietnam. I love this stuff. I had to take down all my clothes off the balcony because they're just getting blown all over the place. Okay. The two routes, Shanghai to Hangzhou and Guangzhou to Shenzhen. That makes sense. That train that goes from Guangzhou to Shenzhen, that high-speed train, and actually continues on into Hong Kong, is always full. I've never, no, that's not true. One time I was able to get a ticket on that train. It's so hard. I can't tell you how many times I've been trying to go to Shenzhen. I get to Guangzhou because you have to go up to Guangzhou South, Guangzhou Nantrail rail station, and then transfer over. I get up to Guangzhou, and the trains are sold out getting into Shenzhen. And there's this giant mass of people who know this, and they wait outside the ticket office saying, I'll give you a ride. I'll give you a drive. I'll give you a ride. I'll give you a ride. How much? How much? How much? And they know that that train is constantly filled up. So another route, 600 kilometers per hour from Guangzhou to Shenzhen. You'd be there in 10 minutes. I mean, seriously, it's really not that far. That's exciting. Shanghai to Hangzhou, I think that would be a great line too. I'd love to do it. It's mostly above ground, while the Guangzhou-Shenzhen maglev will mainly be underground lines. That surprises me. The Guangzhou-Shenzhen will be underground. Interesting. An eagle-eye reporter from the paper took photos and slides accompanying his speech, which further detailed routes and stations, although the original article has since been taken offline. According to the photos, the Shanghai-Hangzhou maglev will be about 164 kilometers in length, with proposed stops in Hangzhou City, Jiangxing, Shanghai South World Expo, and Longyang Road. Longyang Road station will be connected to Shanghai's existing maglev line. So that's it right there. Oh, that's pretty cool. If you live out in that area, that'd be really cool. Where's the Guangzhou one? Ah, here it is. We'll run from Guangzhou East to Shenzhen Xiangminhu East Station with a total length of 110 kilometers. I haven't been to the Guangzhou East Station. The one that I usually transfer to when I'm going up to Guangzhou is Guangzhou South. Again, there's like 5 or 6 of them in the city is so massive. All right. Also expected to be connected to the Hong Kong Kowloon station in the future. That's pretty cool. Maglev from Kowloon, Hong Kong, straight into Guangzhou. That's pretty cool. Top speed of 600 kilometers per hour. Traveling to either of these routes in under 20 minutes seems more than possible. Wow. As it is now, to take the ferry across the bay, with parking wait times and everything, just to get to Boayan Airport is about an hour from where I'm at. If I take the trains, it's 2 hours. If I drive, it's 2 hours because of traffic. All right, I'm stoked about that. How was the pool party? The pool party was off the hook fun. Oh my God, I had so much fun. Can't thank Ziv enough for throwing such an incredible party. I stayed the night at the hotel, so I let loose quite a bit. I had a good time. I stuffed my stomach with all kinds of really, really bad street food, Mexican food, and nachos and tacos and burritos, and I had plenty to drink. And then when the concert really picked up, when the sun went down, and we rocked out. In fact, it was ended too early. It ended at like 9:30 the concert, and I was like, we're just getting started here, guys. But we had been partying all day, and we were in the sun all day. I got some pretty good footage. I got some video. I've got some drone shots that I will happily share with you guys in an upcoming China Randoms video. Wow. It's coming down out there. It's great. So the party was great, and I can't wait to share it with you guys in an upcoming China Randoms video because I didn't get a whole lot. I was too busy having fun. Thailand plans to recruit 10,000 more English teachers. So if you want to go to teach English in Thailand, go right ahead. I've talked about this in the past. A large number of native English-speaking teachers are necessary as we are working on upgrading our education system. One of the countries we are talking to is Canada, which sends many teachers to Japan. Yeah, that's true. But one thing to remember is if you go to Cambodia, Thailand. Great places to visit. I love these countries. The pay is very low. They're not rich countries. So the pay is very low. So you go there for the lifestyle. Vietnam, on the other hand, has got an exploding economy, both in the north and the south. And the pay is still relatively low compared to that of Japan or Korea, but the cost of living is super low, and you've got nothing but, uphill in Vietnam. I'm very bullish on Vietnam. Again, a couple of years ago when I was there, I was in Da Nang. I almost stayed. I was really close to just not coming back to China and staying in Da Nang. I loved that country, that city, that much. It was that amazing. I miss it. I've been wanting to go back. There's a direct flight from Hong Kong into Da Nang. There's an international airport in Da Nang, and the Hong Kong airport's right across the bay. And I actually, before COVID hit, I had a couple of weeks, and I was going to go sit on a beach in Vietnam for a few days. Yeah, 3 or 4 days. Just do a direct flight because I missed it that much. It's that amazing a city. Da Nang is a hidden secret in Southeast Asia. Everyone knows, this city, that city. Well, yeah, that's fine. And there's many cities I haven't been to yet. But for me, Southeast Asia, Da Nang is the place. Check out my videos on Da Nang. I think you'll be impressed. Okay, let's see. Whatever happened to China's giant piles of abandoned bicycles? You remember this? This was all over the vlogger scene a couple of years ago, like a year ago. People were talking about these. Even me. In my city of Zhongshan, these have been outlawed. There are no more shared bikes, not even the e-bikes. They're all been taken off. They've all been made illegal. And I do see an occasional one, and my friends will take a photo of it, and send it to me. Like, unicorn. But yeah, they're all gone, and I never use them, so I don't miss them. But I know many people who do rely on them quite a bit. So forgive me, I'm checking now. Okay. So they are missed. It's unknown if they're going to come back. I have another story here about, in other cities, they're still quite a thing, but here in Zhongshan, they're gone. And I know in other cities, they've also started banning them because they are such a massive headache. People would ride them and they'd just throw them in the street. The Baoans would just pile them up on the side of the street. You couldn't walk down the street anymore because there's these giant piles of bikes everywhere. It was insane how many they were. Is this it? Is this the one? No. Here it is. Well, let's start with this. The problem: the bike sharing craze in China 5 years ago sucked in billions of dollars of investors' cash and clients' deposits. That startup spent on millions of new bikes in an effort to grab market share. Yeah, it was all about market share. When the inevitable collapse came, most of the companies went bankrupt, leaving city authorities having to pay to clean up the mess. When the new industry was seen as profitable, everyone jumped on the share of a piece of the cake. Capital flew in, but management lagged behind, leaving an industry full of problems. Yeah, it's very true. The sheer volume of abandoned bikes is overwhelming. One government unit estimates there were as many as 20 million shared bikes in use in 2017. Xiaolan, just one of the 60 or so bike-sharing app companies that went bust, left 430,000 of them across more than 10 cities. One of the biggest heaps in central Shanghai had 30,000 abandoned bikes. Today, only 3 brands are commonly used in the major cities. Young's China Recycling has scrapped about 4 million shared bikes since 2017. It spends about 10 million yuan each month buying used bikes and parts to salvage the steel, metal, and plastic. Okay. So it's all about a lack of regulation. How do you police this? And so this one here, failure to park, this is from Zhongshan. Failure to park shared bikes properly will result in fines. Fierce competition in the shared bike industry created a mess of bikes littering the streets, crowded sidewalks, blocking entrances, and frustrating many. Shenzhen is hoping to solve these problems with the use of high-precision GPS technology. A new pilot program in Nanshan District is testing standardized management methods to regulate riders' behaviors when using the bikes. So I see these little white blocks on all this, and they got like little outlines of the shared bikes, and you're supposed to put your shared bike in these little white blocks, but Nobody ever does. I mean, they leave them everywhere, literally everywhere. I mean, people take them into their homes with them, so they have a bike in the morning. But I guess bikes equipped with the new Baidu high precision positioning can tell whether the bike is in the designated parking spaces and will charge the rider for failing to return the bike to one of them. Riders that are unable to find designated parking spaces can search for nearby parking spots in their app. So the big thing, the difference between this and the city versions, the cities came out with these and these shared bikes, and they have these docking stations next to bus stations and stuff like that. And they were very popular, and then the private companies got into it, and the lure of this was you could pick it up and leave it anywhere. That's the whole point of it. But now the cities have these dedicated areas, and this is very organized. They don't all look this organized. I mean, oftentimes people just throw it on the pile. What a good thing, though, is that most of these have become e-bikes. And the e-bikes, because of the weight of them, they're much heavier. They are positioned a lot more orderly. These light Ofo bikes that weighed nothing, the people would literally pick them up and toss them in the bushes because they're so light. But the e-bikes have that heavy battery on it, so people tend to be a little bit more, respectful of it and parking them a little bit more orderly than the pedal Ofo bikes. The e-bikes were taken a little bit better care of. And then every night, you had these guys in vans going around redistributing them all over the city. It's quite a logistics issue. It's a wonderful thing. And I've never used them, but I understand how popular they are and why they are. And I applaud it. I think it's probably a good thing and all. You just need to get some regulations. So I support this one. Oh, we got some. We still have them all over the place here in Shanghai. Recycle business is good for that. Gas cars will be next. I love my gas car. I was talking about that with my buddy. I was like, okay, should I buy an electric car? Should I was talking with my buddy about Fernando's little excursion. I was like, wow, you can really, go anywhere with an electric bike or electric car in China. And you can charge anywhere. It's becoming a thing now. But there's something. Oh, and I was talking about getting maybe a diesel truck, and I was like, gas is still the way to go, in my opinion. I found a mobike on the sidewalk in Paris in February. Out of sheer curiosity, I tried my app to see if it would work in France, as it does in China. It didn't work. I heard that they were trying to export these ideas, and there was a big thing in Santa Monica about shared scooters, and these are just like the little skateboards with a little stick out, right? And you same idea, right? These shared scooters. And the people in LA freaking hated them as far as the drivers were concerned. The people who use them absolutely love them. There's a big battle between the people who use these shared little scooters and people who didn't. I don't know what happened with that. I don't know if it's still a thing in Santa Monica, but it was all over the news like a year ago. EV car, yeah, Neo and Xiping. Next 5 years, you can't register a gas car. Really? I doubt they're going to get rid of gas cars all completely. They do have a massive incentives to go for electric cars. Mostly, you can get a license plate in the big cities. If you want a gas car in a big city, it's a lottery system, But if you get an electric car, then it's a completely different licensing, process, and you can get it really fast. Here in my city, I got my plate. I drove off the lot the same day I bought it, and I got a new plate within a couple weeks. It was no issue at all. Oh, next 50 years. 50 years from now, sure, I'll dig that. I'll be 90. I probably won't even be able to drive by then. But I also believe that by then, you won't drive cars. The cars will drive you. I mean, it'll all be driverless. And I actually support that. I think that's a great idea. Yeah. All right, let's move on from that. Videos of binge eating humans banned. Now their pets do. If you don't know, China, I got another story coming out soon that China has this clean plate initiative where they are trying to eliminate or at least cut down greatly on food waste. It's part of the culture here. When you go out to dinner, man, people order tons of food, and there's always food waste. It's like a face thing, I guess, and the same thing exists in the West too. You order a ton of food, and you never eat it all. I think Americans are the most wasteful people when it comes to that, anyways. But here, there was an initiative that came out I think a month ago, 6 weeks ago, about trying to cut down on this, and a lot of the restaurants have issued this. Okay, so if this rule, so if you go to a restaurant with 5 people, you can only order 4 dishes. So it's like one less than the amount of people you're having dinner with. Whether or not that works, I don't know. But they've also banned this binge eating craze. There have been these videos on Douyin and social media about people ordering tons of food and just eating. There are very, very popular social media stars who do nothing but sit and eat noodles. You literally watch them eat noodles, and they have millions of fans. That's all been banned now. You can't do that anymore. So now, instead of that, now they're binge eating pets. China, I love you. Look at that. Oh, poor pup. We're talking about cars. Here we go. Let's go. Why do you think... Oh, Corey, thank you. You asked about that. Why do you think the Airbnb experience gimmick hasn't been a thing in China yet? I don't know. There's a couple of things I want to say about that. I personally have never used Airbnb. I have no intention of using it. I thought it was an interesting concept, but the idea of staying in someone's apartment or having to call someone and say, hey, I'm coming to stay in your house or your apartment. Can you meet me there with the key? It feels... I just don't want to do it. It's just not my thing. I like going to a hotel. I feel comfortable in hotels. I like the service that's provided. I like the convenience of hotels. That's just me personally. But I also know that there's a massive amount of apartments here in China that are not lived in. And the rental market here is terrible. Unless you live in a big city where the rental markets are very strong, most of the cities in China have a very, very weak rental market because this is an ownership society. Most people own. Only about 2% of the entire country actually rents an apartment. So everyone owns an apartment or lives in family-owned dwellings. So this idea of renting apartments or Airbnb is not really a thing. However, if you go to Trip.com or any of these aggregating websites to book a hotel, you will also see apartments. Just recently they changed the rules on Trip.com, which I use exclusively, to where it'll show serviced apartment now. But if I go to a Wanda Plaza, say in neighboring Jiangmen, there'll be the Wanda Realm Hotel, which is a beautiful 5-star hotel, really, really nice. And then there'll be an office building or apartments attached to the same complex, and people will pool a bunch of those apartments together. Owners will sign up with a management company and pool it and call themselves a hotel. I've stayed in these places before many times. I have videos on my channel about this. They're not a hotel. It's a serviced apartment management company. And what they do is they have an office in one of these apartments and they just rent out the apartments, similar to what Airbnb does. But it's all booked and managed through aggregating websites such as Trip.com. They finally changed the rules now, so they're not called hotels. The name might be hotel, but they actually are labeled as serviced apartments now. So that is a wonderful thing. I'm happy to see that they're segregating the market. It's still rather popular because they are much cheaper options than the hotels themselves, and you usually get a kitchen and everything. But I'm concerned about cleanliness. I'm a big stickler on cleanliness, and I go to these national chains because they have standardized cleaning schedules. They have standardized cleaning procedures as far as the linens, the beds, everything. I've become a real stickler on that. I always have been, but even more so living in China. By the way, tomorrow night I have to go I'll be staying in another hotel. I'm doing a series on cheap hospitality in China, and the problem with filming cheap hotels is that there's not a lot of amenities, not a lot of show for a full video. So I'm going to pull them together, maybe 3 or 4 of these hotels into one video, cheap places to stay that I like to stay when I'm just in and out for a night. And there's a brand new hotel just opened today called Lavande, and Lavandes are everywhere. It's a business hotel, but there's a brand new one opened up here in Zhongshan that I can't wait to go stay. I'm going to stay at it tomorrow night. I want to stay in it now because a few weeks from now, I won't be able to stay there. The people smoke in these rooms, and I can't stay in a room that people smoke in. So it'll be ruined. So I'm going to go stay in it now. That's just par for the course here, guys. Okay. Paul, do you think West here is so behind in technology? Yes, I do. I do think that the West is behind. They've always been behind. Years ago, I remember I had a BlackBerry. This was 2005, 2006. I had a BlackBerry. It was the black and white BlackBerry, and it was like all the rage, right? And then I think it was the 8900 BlackBerry came out with a color screen. And on that, it had a web browser. This is before the iPhone. It had a web browser. And I remember going up to my boss who loved that blue and black BlackBerry and showing him, look, I pressed this button, boom, Google, I'm online. He went, whoa, I couldn't believe it. And I went to my Japanese friend, and I did the same thing. Check this out. Look, boom, I'm online. He's like, so you go to Japan and, people are streaming videos on their networks. And this was like 04, 05. So the West has always been behind when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I get it. I know why. It's a culture thing. It's the same thing with the pay. Everywhere in China you pay with WeChat or Alipay, right? I went back to America. I went to a movie, and I was going to a movie alone. I said, one, please. And they said, okay. And I pulled out my phone. I was looking for the QR code to scan, and oh, that's right. They have Apple Pay, but nobody ever uses it. The Apple Pay thing was there, but it was like behind the register, and nobody ever used it. This is a few years ago. I'm sure it's changed a little bit since then. But I remember I had to go back to my car and grab my wallet because I'm so used to paying for everything here, So I definitely think the West are late adapters to new technology. Facial recognition is everywhere here in China. I know it's still a thing. Paying for parking. When you're, again, I know it's changing and there are exceptions to these rules, but generally when you have to pay for parking, you go downtown LA and you park in a parking lot, there's a dude there that you give him $10 to park. Whereas here, they have cameras that scan your license plate, you scan an app, you pay on your app, and then you go. If you try to leave a parking lot in China without paying on the app, there's going to be nobody there at the gate to take money from you. They're still there, but it's a very rare sight. And you're just going to create this huge backup of cars, and people are going to be honking at you and everything. So that's just another example of how things have gone a lot faster here, at least here in China. I mean, again, I've never been to Korea. I know Japan has a lot of this too. But even in Japan, I remember taking the subway, getting coins to take the subway. I mean, you can still get a coin to take the subway in Guangzhou, but everything's on your phone. You just carry it everywhere. It's all online now. Good question. Maybe Chinese think live someone else's home is kind of awkward. That could be.